I want to say sword, but I'm not gonna guess that because
Wow,
it's
that would
never
be...
sword.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How about bow instead?
Bow. Okay, that's certainly one of the preferred items, I think, for most runners. And we're off, so we're about to find out. Uncle getting himself into more trouble than he bargained for. Chasing tail. Kohrek with my favorite sprite, the one I use, and they each find 50 rupees.
So what's the sprite for Hunter Seeker? Is that the boiling, or I'm not sure.
No, I think that's one of the stylized links from a different game in the series, but I'm not sure which one. Oh, the Cane of Burna, and Gem in chat called that one. Kohrek going ahead to try to farm right off the bat, but just gets 10 arrows for his trouble. Hunter Seeker picking up his 300 rupees and just ignores the guards, which is an interesting choice.
Yeah,
you know you're not gonna have bombs.
It's interesting, especially when there's so limited amount of time to farm because of the magic issue.
Right, and especially with the Cane of Burna, it's the absolute worst.
But we saw that Hunter Seeker got a full magic drop from one of the green guards, so it's possible that they might get another full magic later on.
Yeah, it is. If you can cycle all the way back around, there's the 10 arrows we saw Kohrek get earlier. So, yeah, interesting possibility there. All right, so a key and a key as we continue. Yeah, Kohrek is mostly invisible, yet somehow these guards keep tracking him and chasing after him, so go figure. Neither runner lucky with that jar toss.
Yeah, I think up until Zelda's chest, you don't really worry too much about the bombs because you still have the possibility of
how about
getting 10 bombs.
Possibility of that, yes. As Kohrek as well picks up a full magic refill. So you were absolutely right, Walter. Either cycled back to that or it's in the prize pack twice. So he's feeling great. Hunter Seeker's got to be feeling pretty good too, finding those 10s. So each runner, their mood undoubtedly brightened on this early day.
Yeah, and funny that it was a 10 drop as well, because that's one of the things you can get from the uncle.
Right, exactly. So we have 2 uncle items in escape. Kohrek able to use that extra magic to just make a quick work out of the ball and chain guard and finds a bottle in Zelda's cells, so that'll be convenient too.
Yeah, doesn't have to worry about the magic now that they have bombs. They just need enough to take down that key rat.
Yeah, and then they'll be able to drop by the sick kid's hut, or house rather, as well in Kakariko. So
it's always nice when you can route in as many shakes as possible in your first visit in Kakariko.
Yeah, the game's not given them anything so far items-wise for advancement or for a jet seed type, so it's the little things that can help out. All right, Kohrek the first back upstairs with Zelda. And as expected, he's just avoiding everybody now. Same with HS, he's just going to get out of here. So it'll be interesting to see what is available to the runners as they look through the Lost Woods and Kakariko Village. I would think, wouldn't you, Walter, most likely that these guys will skip the lumberjack check since they're pretty high up there in resources?
Yeah, I think that definitely lowers the possibility of them going up to check Aghanim. Or the lumberjack, I mean.
Yeah, the item that opens up following the Aghanim fight. Alright, dodging ropes are both the runners. And we get the boots, so maybe that changes things.
Yeah, that might definitely change it. And well, it turned out we never needed bombs anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Just run into the wall now.
So yeah, at this point I would expect both of the runners to check the lumberjack.
Kohrek's rat makes a nuisance of himself. Hunter's pretty cooperative. And now Rat's continuing to make a nuisance of themselves for Kohrek. Hunter just goes ahead and drops a bomb, which, considering how many rats are hanging out over there, may have been nothing of use back here, but it's always nice to get it out of the way.
Ooh, yeah, I like this. Both of the runners taking the other way out from the back of escape because they had the boots.
Definitely a good move. All right, and Kohrek through the door right on 6 minutes. Very nicely done. Hunter Seeker hot on his heels, and hey, how about some more bombs? So now the runner's faced with that. Oh, and we have a quick map check with a blue pendant on Tower of Hera. Did you see what else there was, Walter?
Yeah, desert was a red crystal and eastern and normal crystal.
Oh, okay. So we have 2 crystals in the light worlds, meaning 2 pendant dungeons in the dark world. That's generally to the runner's benefit.
Yeah, I think seeing 2 out of 3 dungeons in the light world as crystals is always a good thing.
Tree pole not worth the trouble, and as we expected, both runners are heading north. We're checking. Oh, how about that crab? That'll be handy.
Yeah, it's definitely good information to have if you're ever low on magic.
Just a piece of heart in here, though, so there will be no coming back.
So with the boots, it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes before they get a sword, because dashing without a sword is... well, you have to be a little bit more careful than just dashing normally.
It's an extra challenge. You don't gain the same kind of speed increase that you do when you've got the sword out in front of you. Yeah, just a piece of heart again. And yeah, Kohrek's already feeling the effects of that a little bit, down to 1 heart. He should be fine, especially if he checks the tree pole, although he doesn't. But once he gets into Kakariko Village, he's perfectly safe as long as he doesn't actually hit himself with the impact from a bomb. But since he'll most likely be dashing for at least some of the available entrances, that risk is mitigated a little bit. All right, what do we got in here? Well, it's a bottle seed.
Yeah, so would it appear.
And yeah, another piece of heart. I think that's 3 for each player, so the next one will also be helpful, as that'll recover Kohrek's health. Thankfully for all of our ears, he's chosen the quarter heartbeat speed.
Yeah, that's the one I like to have as well.
Yeah. Seed making sure bombs are available. Alright, Kohrek's getting some hearts now, so... 10 arrows, though. Boy, we are really thin on items.
Yeah, this is... we still have a couple of checks left in Kakariko, but so far, not much at all.
No. Really, all we can say is that they've got money and the boots. I mean, two kind of benefits versus... Ah, there we go. That changes things significantly.
Yeah, that sure is something.
I would expect both runners to be keen on heading over to Eastern now, even without the lantern. But we have 0 items needed for Dark World access to this point, as Hunter Seeker does his map check. There's the blue.
Yeah, and not having Moon Pearl yet, because they have a lot of money, so they might want to do Fake Flipper after. Ooh, there's the flute.
Yeah.
Death Mountain as well. We don't really have a lot of things to do in Death Mountain right now, though.
That's true. They don't have much access to it, but they've got all the speed items for now, with the exception of the hook shots. Within just a little over 10 minutes, so not too bad. Let's see if we get any race game gambles here.
Yeah, with the boots, I would say that is a little bit more possible, maybe. But I don't really expect anyone to do it. Yeah, Kohrek is going for it. Yeah, there wasn't actually too much in Kakariko, so...
There really wasn't, generally.
To just go for it here and hope that maybe it's going to give you something.
We're about to find out. It's 20 rupees, so Hunter Seeker happy to just bail and go to 7 and check out what's in the dam. And Kohrek decides that move is a good one too. The lack of Moon Pearl matters, of course, but the fact that they can set up a water walk glitch with the boots does change things a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely within the possibilities right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Quick run up to the Ice Rod Cave in the upper right. Hunter Seeker using some arrows, but then changes his mind because he's got full magic to the Cane of Burna. Switches back to arrows, though, for the last Moldorm, and it's trolling him. There he goes.
It's being very elusive there.
Being typically mini Moldorm-ish. Alright, Kohrek with bomb strats, that's a good one. Ah, there's the Power Glove. So we're getting there, and the Moon Pearl, and the hammer all together! Wow!
Wow, that's Dark World access.
Now what do you do, Walter? Suddenly the world is wide open, isn't it?
That's a good question. So yeah, if you ask Kohrek, he would tell you, I go to the Dark World right away. Gonna check out Hype Cave here. While Hunter Seeker is checking Ice Rod Cave, so being a little bit more careful before. It is still very early game, so...
It is, and with the boots, it's not a long check. Okay, we've got the Pyramid Crystal at Palace of Darkness. We have the green pendants at Turtle Rock, as Hunter Seeker finds Ether, which may be a big deal. And Ice Palace was the other pendant, if I saw that correctly. Shout out to our trekker today, Yoinker's wife, who's suddenly been called into some furious action.
Yeah, for sure.
Another bottle. Hunter Seeker getting himself very savvily over the 500 rupee mark, as he is going to head for Zora. The crab's continuing to be an annoyance, and as you mentioned earlier, Walter, since he doesn't have a sword, extra annoying.
Yeah, they can't just dash through them as they would normally.
Hunter Seeker didn't set up the water walk glitch, so he's just going to do a standard fake flipper here. Kohrek continuing across the Dark World to the west after getting his bottle in the Hype Cave. And Hunter Seeker having a little trouble with... Oh! Kohrek picks up the fire rod, so that's a nice find, considering the way he's chosen to route this. He'll then be able to go back around once he finds a sword to do Skull Woods.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's also the first fire source we have, so could be needed for Desert and Hera.
Very good point. Kohrek, not having done the Zora sweep, has plenty of money for this digging game. Likely to see a save and quit out of him once he finishes this up, with the exception of... Nope, just a red boomerang. And Kohrek immediately fluting, perhaps to 3? No, to 5.
Yeah, it's gonna go for the eastern play here. With the fire rod, it's a lot easier to do the dark room.
Yeah, for sure.
So even though they don't have a sword to guide them in the dark room that probably would give them the most trouble is gonna be a lot easier now.
It almost becomes trivial because you can just turn immediately to the right and shoot that fire rod and light the torch. All right, Hunter Seeker with the sequence break. Going to be grabbing these 2 chests.
Yeah, it's very interesting when a seed gives the runners the possibility of doing so many things in different orders.
Yeah, you love that, especially in a race like this where it's for everything. It doesn't get more intense. On the ledge, we have the Cane of Samaria. Now, I didn't see whether Hunter Seeker stored a water walk and if he'll be able to jump down to it. Kohrek finding the big key.
Yeah, at the very least, the knowledge alone is good to have because
it's definitely useful.
They know
yes.
that they're gonna have to come back otherwise.
Okay, and he did not, so the save and quit. So he's got an extra walk to go back and get that, but he knows it's there, whereas Kohrek doesn't. He also has the Ether Medallion, thanks to his Ice Rod Cave check. So a couple of potential big advantages. And now Hunter Seeker headed the same way. He's going to stop off at Sahasrahlis first as Kohrek picks up a mirror.
Ooh, that's an excellent find when you have Dark World access so early, because you can really maximize your efficiency when routing now.
Yeah, it really gives the greatest opportunity for creativity to the runners for how they want to route things when it's this early. And there's the lantern in Sahasrahlis, so Kohrek's going to have a little more trouble than he would have had he done this check in the normal order.
That's a little bit ironic.
Yeah.
So that puts everything in Eastern Empod in logic.
It sure does, and it makes you wonder if we'll see an early pod check too. Really no reason not to. It's also a crystal. And yeah.
Yeah, and we're only Titans or book away from the Pyramid Fair as well, this early.
Man, this thing is opening up like crazy. All right, so Kohrek decided to go ahead and check this chest. He's just going to kill everybody because he doesn't have a whole lot of health, which is a good strat. Takes a little extra time, but...
You could have used the blue cane, I guess, but...
That's true.
Yeah, the health is definitely an issue.
Turned out to be a waste of
when
time
you're gonna
anyway.
go to the back.
right, so Kohrek on his way up, he'll just turn to his side and immediately shoot. There we go. Being at 474 rupees, he opts not to grab those available to the right, which I don't blame him for that at all. And Zora is probably pretty far from his mind at this point.
Yeah, as well as he used a fire rod, so the torch is gonna go out sooner or later.
Yeah, for sure. Hunter Seeker gets his mirror. Kohrek opting for hammer strats on the front enemies and of course the bow. Gonna need to pick up some arrows to have enough to beat the Ice Armos, and he's grabbing some more for good measure. So he has plenty. I said Ice Armos, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Nicely done, and a 10 bomb upgrade is his reward, but so is the first crystal of the game to Kohrek. Alright, obviously he's going to check Sahasrala's hut, Walter, but where's he headed to after that?
Well, that's a good question. I would assume somewhere in Dark World. I think Outcast is a pretty good option right now. You can full clear Freezetown, do all the overworld checks there, and at that point maybe you have gotten a sword as well, and then you can use do Skullwoods as well. But I guess with the mirror, everything on Death Mountain is open as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. You do have a pendant Tower of Hera, but even still, and it looks like we're going to get Pod.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well.
Yep.
That's 5 items locations and another crystal.
It's also one of the Pyramid Fairy crystals.
Yeah, and with the items you have right now, like it kind of feels like it wants you to go into Pod as well.
It's definitely opened up a lot, but at the same time said, okay, here's a very specific play you can make. And oh, by the way, you're right next to it anyway, so why not? Alright, Hunter Seeker headed into his Armos fight, and he's going to do the strap from the bottom of the screen. And just let them rotate into his arrows.
Yeah, he's doing the Ice Armor strat.
Yeah, nice and easy. And finishes that one off. And Kohrek finds, in spite of the early bow, Pod wasn't bow locked anyway. At least not in the very front. So he heads straight ahead. Hunter Seeker now fluting to 1, so going to make a completely different choice here.
Yeah, yet again we see a little bit of a divergence here, and like it's super possible when you have so many options in front of you.
It sure is, and I'm thinking he was, like you said, enticed by the full availability of what's up there on Death Mountain right now with the equipment he's got. Our runners also, they have the Cane of Burna, so that means even Spike Cave is in the logic now.
Yeah, that's true.
And hey, speaking of, there's a third one. And the 4th overall, so all the bottles already found inside 25 minutes.
It's always funny when you get all the bottles before you get a single
Even
sword.
one, yeah. Oh, well, speak of the devil.
Speaking of swords.
Wow, so that's an interesting twist here. So the play pays off for Hunter Seeker, as he'll be able to do Skull Woods whenever he feels like it, as he checks his map.
Yeah, he still needs to pick up the fire rod first, though.
Ah, that's true. He didn't grab that. Where was that?
It was on the Stumpy kid.
Ah, right. So he'll have to do that. Perhaps he'll head to Hype Cave and do the same path that Kohrek did. Or maybe he'll wish to work his way around to Hype Cave from the northwest of the Dark World.
So deciding to go in here to Pendant Hera, got the big key, so don't need to do the basement at least.
And we're going to see a hammer jump from Kohrek. A little high. I think he is 1 pixel high. There he goes. He's got it. Perfect. And he's rewarded with 1 solitary arrow. Kohrek did find a sword himself, apparently, here in the Palace of Darkness. No, he didn't. He's kindly showing us that he does not have that. I think I misread something. Oh, the cape. Meanwhile, Hunter Seeker finds a piece of heart and decides he's going to bail.
Yeah, that was the second item, and Tower of Hera is not a green pendant, so... Ooh, there's bombos, so that's another medallion that we have access to.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. And the mushrooms, so go fetch around. At least they've got the flute, so that won't be a difficult check. Hunter Seeker finds nothing particularly interesting I don't think I saw on the floating island. And Kohrek gets his final key. He's just going to go ahead and continue routing from up here, rather than mirroring and starting at the front.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if Kohrek decides to turn in that mushroom straight away, because we do have knowledge of where that cane is.
Right. The potential for the fake powder glitch is real. Nice arrow drop for Kohrek. Okay, gonna go in here with 5 hearts. He's got the turtle room to deal with. There are the flippers for Hunter Seeker.
Very interesting. Puts the cane into logic as well. So at this point, we're actually not very far away from go mode, which is pretty insane.
It is insane, with the exception of the sword paucity. Everything else is just coming up roses for these runners. Nicely done by Kohrek, getting all of the turtles to cooperate. Whacks the last one, and he's good to go. Now, Hunter Seeker, at the same time, was getting items, and he's going outside. Okay, he's just going to go ahead and flute elsewhere, so didn't find too much interesting. As Kohrek starts his fight with Helmasaur King, not even a safety with the sword held out in front of him because he doesn't have one. So, very, very difficult fight.
Yeah, that's right. I was just thinking that Kohrek is super confident here, not doing that, but is definitely doing a good job here.
He's got the mask off. He has 2 hits left. He's going to try to use arrows. Gets 1. He needs a total of 8. 6. He has 1 heart left. Opts to use his blue potion while standing on a fireball, so nicely done. Hunter Seeker, meanwhile, immediately going to the Cane of Samaria. Got him.
Very well done by Kohrek.
₹5 is reward. Boy, Palace of Darkness is there for the taking, and it yields just about nothing. We'll find out on the Bombos medallion and the mushroom. But so far, no real tangible benefits. Well, got the cape as well, but they're all what-ifs, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't really open up too much, and they need to pay off if Pod is gonna have any value at all.
So Kohrek opting just to turn in his mushroom. He's not aware of the location of the Cane of Samaria. So if powder is a thing, he's going to have to find it for real. $100 for his troubles.
Yeah, that does give him money for Sora, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
So Hunter-Seeker going into Skull Woods, but not having the fire rod, so this is gonna be a double dip.
Yes, a little bit unlucky on his choice of routing. Actually, okay. He just avoids going that path. Interesting choice.
Yeah, you might be thinking of doing the Graveyard Ledge together with the Kingstone instead.
Yep, looks like that is what he's doing. Just 20 rupees at the Bumper Cave, so that cape not useful for any item seeking, as Kohrek picks up bottle number 4. Alright, so Hunter-Seeker continues to be the one who's kind of, I wouldn't say out in front, that's not right. I'd say these runners are pretty even from a progression standpoint, but he's doing things that haven't been done now. Kohrek just finished that up, having completed the Palace of Darkness. So now he's on a retrace kind of a path.
Yeah, he's gonna get a couple of good items here in Death Mountain, at least.
Yeah, he sure will. And I thought about it. He was going to skip over Hera, and it would have been a good move, but he doesn't know that. Well, blue mail for Hunter-Seeker in the King's Tomb, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, a little bit of extra safety. It never hurts. I think especially Kohrek would be happy with that, because they're still pretty low on hearts.
Yeah, about to get a couple more here on Death Mountain, but it still wouldn't hurt. Down to 2 hearts, has to be very, very careful with those Tektites. Gets the fairy out via the dead rock, but walks into the fairy, unfortunately.
That was very interesting. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, if you bonk anything near where the fairy is, you don't actually bonk where it is, it'll still come out. So the dead rock provided that. Okay, Hunter-Seeker having a look here at Thieves Town and decides, yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah, it's yet another crystal dungeon that's open to them, and they can full clear it, so I don't see any reason why they would skip it.
Well, and we know from a race standpoint, as we find the Book of Mudora, that could be interesting.
Ooh, yeah, that opens up yet another crystal dungeon.
We know already 2 out of the 3 items we found in the Palace of Darkness were not useful. The mushroom didn't lead to anything. As Kohrek picks up his flippers. The bumper cave had a big 20, so no need for the cape that was found. Kohrek has to hope one of the required medallions is Bombos. Preferably Misery Myers, since Turtle
Yeah,
Rock is a pendant.
I don't think any of our runners is kind of wanting to go into Turtle Rock at this point.
And yeah, we've got still a number of choices for these runners in front of them. Hunter Seeker opting for Thieves Town. He'll soon be able to do Skull Woods.
Yeah,
We're a hook shot away from Swamp Palace. So, besides Meyer, which we'll need to find the Titan's Mitts for access, we're pretty close to everything.
yeah. We might even see Swordless Go mode in this seed if it continues to give us item in this raid.
Alright, Kohrek going ahead with this.
Yeah, I think Hunter Seeker skipped it. So
He was a Hunter Skipper, wasn't he?
Yeah, kind of. Just a heart, so it's not gonna hurt him in the long run.
Alright, looks like Kohrek probably gonna do Thieves Town, or do Skull Woods rather first, I would think. Accidentally grabbing himself some apples.
Who doesn't like apples anyway?
Exactly.
And there's a massive sword, so that's a really nice find.
Yeah, oddly, it'll benefit Hunter Seeker a little bit, as he won't be fighting Mothula on a fighter sword. Kohrek wisely picked up... Oh no, Kohrek's gonna probably maybe look for another sword rather than go straight into Skull Woods, which you can understand that. It's never any fun to do Mothula with a fighter sword, even if you've got a full dose of magic available.
Yeah, and the thing is that Kohrek already did the soft checks of Stumpy in the dig game, so they might actually want to go north after they're done in Thieves Town and Skullwoods anyways.
Good point. What he doesn't know is that he's about to find the Book of Mudora, which opens up at least a check of the Bombos tablet, and he's about to find the Master Sword, which will mean he can also get what's there.
Yeah, it's an interesting combo. They haven't done the Haunted Grove cave as well, because they didn't have...
Tempered Sword behind Blind as Hunter Seeker finishes him off. So we've gone from swordless to 3 swords in Hunter Seeker's case in about, what, 20 minutes, and in Kohrek's it'll be about 10.
Yeah, this seed is definitely something special. And the difference of doing Fire Sword against Mothula or having Tempered is...
Oh man, night and day.
Yeah, it's a very big difference.
So Kohrek's call to come into Thieves Town first, whether it even applied to the routing outside or otherwise, is really paying off. Ooh, he's got to be careful, though. He's about to head to a nasty place where the green slugs do 2 hearts of damage, so he's 1 hit away.
Yeah, and decides to take it safe here. Just taking the potion. There's
good move.
No need to risk it. Kohrek bought some extra potions, and this is the reason. You want to be able to full clear everything without taking too many risks. So we saw the Haunted Grove, or K45 as it's referenced as sometimes, only having a big 20, so nothing really there. Hunter-seeker already on the south part here, so probably gonna head over to that bombos.
Yeah, head over to Hype Cave 2, and then quite possibly after the bombos check, if he chooses to do that, may just get a flute right back to 3 again.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility as well, because once you mirror there and you're very close to desert, you have everything to beat it.
Well, that's true. He may just proceed into desert first. All right, Hunter Seeker gets one of his blue bottles, so he's at 4 now as well. There's Kohrek's Master Sword. Interesting to note, by the way, we didn't catch this at the time, but the small key is locked in the big chest of Thievetown.
Actually, it was in the front, but Kohrek decided to check the big chest before getting.
Oh, he did. Okay. Well, then that's what I get for my attention being split between these two. All right, Hunter Seeker going a completely different direction than either of us thought. He's going to go ahead and check the pyramid as Kohrek enters the blind fight. Got a little bit of a troll there, and he slashes at the heads for getting in his way, but able to finish everything off. Gets his sword as Hunter Seeker goes pyramid to pod, it looks like. After that book, I'm not sure I would have been able to resist. And Fire Rod. I'm not sure I would have been able to resist both of those locations just because you salivate at the thought of being able to go mode pod. Especially if the big key is in a very convenient location, which it can be sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Pod is one of those dungeons that can be really fast and go mode, or just if another full clear. So Kohrek going north here. Not going into Skullwoods though.
Yeah, maybe do these checks first and then head back over.
Yeah, I guess.
He'll find his blue mail, which he would have liked to have for Thievetown.
Is at least gonna have it for Skullwoods though.
Yeah,
so
definitely helps.
Doesn't help for the spikes, but it definitely helps for Mothula.
Yeah, anything that can lessen that 2 hearts of damage you get from Mothula's waves, or Mothula herself coming into contact with you is nice. All right, so Kohrek grabs his blue mail as Hunter Seeker heads toward the right side of pod. All right, so yes, it looks like Kohrek's headed back up. Gonna check Bumper Cave from below.
Yeah, well, the thing that would have been interesting if Kohrek decided to do Skullwoods first, and then go over to King's Tomb, they would have been very close to just swim over to Catfish, and since they have the mirror, could do all the Sora checks as well.
That's a very good point.
And it's easy for us to say because we know that the cane is over there. But...
It's true. I mean, and that's some way far out in the future routing to try to think about on the fly. But Hunter Seeker getting trolled by many Helmosaurs and knocked off the bridge. I'm gonna give it a second try here. There we go. And Kohrek opting to go to the front, which I tend to agree with, even if you do have the Fire Rod. It can be an annoyance sometimes, but other times you get one or both items back here, and you've just saved yourself a lot of checking.
Yeah, and also went into the main entrance of the front part here first, just in case they got a key.
Oh, the Ice Rod.
Yeah, I think that's... Oh, the Ice Rod.
Yeah, not something that they wanted to see. We'll see if that affects Kohrek's decision-making. Of course, there's no question at all right now because he doesn't the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, I think both runners at this point is hoping that Titan Smiths is going to be go mode. And if that turns out to be the case, they never have to worry about Turtle Rock anyways.
Exactly. So Turtle Rock could have the hook shot in theory. And that would be a bit of a nightmare for them, but if they find it out here, then they'll know Turtle Rock completely unnecessary. Nice use of the Fire Rod to grab that last key. And Kohrek is through to Mothula. Doesn't need any magic when he's got the Tempered Sword, so... Goodbye!
That's a very good Mothula fight.
Excellent fight.
And they got the second item as well.
Yep, so that front routing paying off, not having to check the chest that's downstairs in the back of Skullwoods or the one behind the Gibdos in the other room. Are we going to get a pedestal check?
We might. There's very limited items that could be on pedestal that we need, but it doesn't hurt to check because it's still a possibility.
Hookshot could be here.
Yeah, and Quake.
Nope, just a heart container. Pedestal. So Kohrek now headed to maybe a tablet check into desert.
I would think that this is Kohrek's thinking as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's headed that way. Hunter Seeker going to have a slightly easier time of things with the Helmosaur King. Tempered Sword to hit the gem on his forehead with. Oh, Kohrek quickly going over to check K45.
It's an isolated check, but it doesn't hurt to just get that out of the way.
Get rid of it.
And yeah, and then you can resume with your plan here. And if they decide to go this route and go into desert, they can check the pyramid at the same time as delivering the big bomb.
That's a good point. That's always nice to be able to do. All right, here we go. So a Bombos tablet check. Kind of on its own. You don't often see this without the purple chest having been in tow a moment ago, but this time, the way the seed has rolled, it makes sense. It's only 50 rupees. Kohrek's still below 500, which will tend to not make him want to go to the Zora area, even though he's had the flippers for a while now. And we have simul desert checks from the runners. Each are on 3 crystals, so it's as close as it can get right now.
Yeah, I would say so.
Kohrek just that one check behind where the Cane of Samaria was, the Zora Ledge. Just a compass, so off to the torch we go. We've had boots since escape, so that was never a problem. Big key will hold the small key.
Yeah, so the 2 big differences here right now is that Hunterseeker has Cane and Ether. One of them is required, the other one could be. And Kohrek has finished Skullwoods, but Hunterseeker is definitely going to go to Skullwoods sooner or later. For Kohrek, the question is when are you going to do those overworld locations?
Yeah, exactly. And that's right. Kohrek does have 4 crystals. 2 Hunterseekers, 3. Oh! Well, guess what? The dream is alive.
Yeah, the dream is very much alive right now. Kohrek getting 50 rupees here is actually not bad at all as well.
Yep, so he opts to leave as he can finish this at his leisure. Well, no, now he's going back inside. He's realized it is a pyramid crystal. Generally speaking, yeah, you might save yourself a little trouble and a little time routing wise if you just finish the back once you've got the Titan's mitts, and you can flute to 6, but changes things a little bit when it's one of the pyramid crystals.
Do you know what the most frequent required item I get in Swamp is?
The most frequent required item you get in Swamp, I would think the Titans. Yeah, it tends to be the truth for me, too. It's a very good point.
They might even decide to do Swamp before going for Pyramid Ferry, because it just helps the routing that way.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made for either. Hunterseeker might, because he doesn't have what you mentioned earlier, which is needing to catfish to mirror to Waterfall Cave to Zora. Kohrek, pretty decent first cycle here. Gonna, just misses, which is with his last fire rod shot. But one more spin and he's finished him off. Hunterseeker, the same, and they are just about lined up as they pick up the map. Arms to the sky. Five to 4 crystal count, but Hunterseeker is one step closer to go mode. Although he's lacking the ice rod still, so he won't even be thinking about. Well, he might be thinking about it, but he won't be thinking about Turtle Rock too much.
Yeah, and as soon as they get the Titan's mitts, they're gonna
It
head
won't
over
matter.
to Meyer
Exactly.
straight away.
All right, so a simultaneous Agena check. Just a heart. Hunter Seeker, though, going back outside.
Yeah, so Kohrek is heading into this portal here. Question is, do they go with a big bomb or into swamp? And as you mentioned, yeah, I think it's for Kohrek's size. I would say the big bomb is pretty likely, but not
Nope.
according to Kohrek.
He's going straight for it. Do you also find, Walter, that not only do you find the Titan's mitts in swamp all the time, you find them on the left side of swamp all the time?
For me, it's mostly in the back, actually.
Okay. Well, I wish I were you then. And yes, been mentioned in chat, we're going to need the mitts to find out what medallion is required for Misery Mire. So once they find them, they're in kind of a pseudo-go mode. There is still the possibility, perhaps, that Quake is the Mire medallion, and you're only going to find Quake in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, if Quake turns out to be the medallion needed for Meyer, it's probably gonna be in the Meyer shed.
That would be a good one.
So Huntseeker not deciding to go check the big bomb as well. They decide to go to Skullwoods, which makes a lot of sense as well, because it's the same number of items you get from the pyramid, and this is definitely required one way or another.
All right, Hunter Seeker's got his ice rod now. So the Trinex Quake for Meyer dream lives on for both runners. Nightmare if you prefer.
Yeah, dream for Shat, nightmare for the runners, I think.
Exactly. Fireball shield. Hunter Seeker going ahead and going to the back of the second building in Skull Woods, finds the big key. Hopefully for him, he doesn't go back to the front again. No, he continues. All right, we're about to get a shot of items here, Walter.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they found a map or compass yet in
I hadn't seen one. Ooh, half magic.
Half magic, so...
Wow, 300 rupees as well.
Half magic not required, but it's definitely nice to have.
You'd love to see it. Big key finally in the waterfall room. And yeah, I believe you're correct. If Argus has the final item, we've got a map and a compass on the left side.
Yeah, even so, we still have the big chest as well, though.
True.
And Hunter Seeker is taking on Mafia here. Not
Makes
getting too
quick
much
work.
problem.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, phase 1 of Argus is just gone.
And so is phase 2. Well done by Kohrek. Up the compass. So in addition to the chest, you've got 2 more chests, and only one will have a dungeon item. So it's definitely worth your check, as opposed to it only potentially being 1. Hunter Seeker about to find out the heart container on the pedestal. We're starting to run out of locations a little bit, Walter. The fact that it's the mitts obviously closes off a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, that's one of the better things to have as your go mode, or in this case, maybe go mode, because there's so many things that it logs. And it's not like the hammer where you can double dip a lot of things. There's 3 dungeons completely locked by them, so you can't even go and check a few things in them. So you told me something about the left side, right?
Yeah, so the map was in the big chest, so that means we've got 2 items on the left side. And
oh, and Hunter not having enough money to buy the
ooh. Meanwhile, Kohrek sitting on 1,036 rupees. So Hunter Seeker changes tack, and he's just going to go ahead and go into Swamp Palace, where he will find plenty of money for the bomb. Or no, he's going to head over to the Bombos tablet first. It's probably a good idea. And didn't we find 50 rupees there? So he'll be 21 short.
Yeah.
So he could theoretically hop down and go into the cave here, pick up some rupees from the thief, and then go back up and try his luck with the bomb. We'll see if he actually does that, or if he just decides to skip it for now. Alright, 2 items for Kohrek.
And the first is just a big 20. And the second item on the left side here is Titan's Knights.
Oh! Now it gets more interesting, because Kohrek still needs to do a Zora check, but now he sees all this stuff opening up in front of him.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Especially if it turns out to be Ether from Meyer.
Yep, and he's going straight to Meyer.
Oh, it is Bombos, so...
he very well may dip in there.
It's possible. And that means that as soon as Hunter Seeker checks the left side, Hunter Seeker will enter go mode.
And, yep, you have to say, even with the crystal difference right now, potentially an advantage for Hunter Seeker.
Yeah, it all depends on how long it takes for Kohrek to get up to Sora.
And gonna go ahead and grab this red mail, which I think's a good move. 10 hearts. Just don't even worry about it. Takes you 5 seconds.
So at the very least, Kohrek will not have to go into Third Rock.
And he's not dipping... Oh, he's gonna do Dark World Death Mountain. He's not dipping into Meyer. Well, if nothing else, he might find the silver arrows. I mean, there's still potential benefits to this check, but it's time he doesn't really have right now. As Hunter Seeker nips at his heels in Skull Woods, in Swamp Palace, rather.
Yeah, and since Hunter Seeker don't have compass or the map, they will probably go to the back as well, especially since they're only looking for one item. So
Right.
at the very least, Kohrek won't lose any time in that regard.
Yeah, I think that's true. And indeed, Hunter-Seeker heads towards the back. Obviously, Kohrek can't get into Turtle Rock. I doubt he'll even check which medallion it is. Well, he may. Butter Sword.
There's Butter Sword as well. That's something that Hunter Seeker is probably never gonna get, but with Tempered, it's not too bad of a difference. So not getting that sword is not gonna hurt him too much. And we're gonna see an Ether tablet here as well.
Yeah, it's a good move.
Yeah,
no reason not to while you're here.
It makes a lot of sense to clear everything on the Dark World, on Death Mountain, so you never have to come back until it's time for Ganastar.
All right, let's see if the next flute is to 8. He's had the flippers for a good 45-50 minutes. He's going to 4, so probably going to do the pyramid check.
Yeah, and that's good because that might lead him up to Catfish afterwards.
That's true.
But Huntseeker is probably going to have a little bit of a head start.
As long as the silver arrows aren't in the pyramid area, the fact that Hunter Seeker didn't have the funds to buy that bomb could actually turn out to be a benefit to him. And now Hunter Seeker, as crystal number 6, goes back in, so he will have his Titan's Mids. And he won't know it yet, but officially be in go mode once he has them.
Yeah, and we saw a very nice trick there from Kohrek, dashing away from the bomb, but passing through a screen at the same time as the bomb was about to explode, so that just makes the bomb follow him instead.
2 pieces of heart. That sinking feeling. But it looks like he is headed toward Catfish, so we're going to get our Zora ledge check almost certainly here. And at quite a similar time to Hunter Seeker.
Yeah, this is gonna be close, I think.
It sure is.
So Kohrek will probably have Butter Sword and the Red Mail as an up against Hunter Seeker, because as soon as they see that medallion, they will probably not check those locations.
No, not a chance. No reason to go out of your way to go up to even to Checkerboard Cave. Money Kohrek does not want. Happy to see that heart container, I'm sure, a little bit.
Yeah, and both runners here, they're going to enter go mode almost at the exact same time.
It is going to be so close. Kohrek knows, but he's got to get to it.
Yeah, he knows now. Gotta run fast.
At 1 hour, 9 minutes, 40 seconds, Hunter Seeker 2 enters go mode. He heads out of Swamp Palace and is on his way to Misery Mire. Kohrek, 1 hour, 9 minutes, 52 seconds. So how about that? 12 seconds difference.
That's amazing.
Hunter Seeker also doesn't know it yet because he's got to see the medallion, but he knows he's got a 2 and 3 shot. He's probably not even going to check the shed. No, he is. That's an interesting choice. Maybe just looking for the silvers.
Yeah, it's gonna be to his advantage because he's gonna get the powder, which is a pretty nice safety to have.
Absolutely.
And Hunter Seeker doesn't have too many hearts as well, so having that extra little bit of safety doesn't hurt to be sure. But that does mean that Kohrek will have the head start into Meyer.
Just barely. Maybe 7-8 seconds difference here.
So yeah, this is gonna race down to the wire.
It sure is. Be interested to see if they route the same through here. There's not a whole lot of choices. Depending.
Yeah. And who knows, we might even see like a god mode Meyer.
We might.
I think the biggest chance for a divergence is Ganon's Tower at this point.
Hunter Seeker not having beams and also using neither the fire rod nor the cane to help him out in the room used up a little extra time. So Kohrek's lead widening slightly. It is down to a room-by-room comparison at this point. Kohrek going first to the spike room, but he finds a small key. Hunter Seeker going to the room in the back first. And he finds the big key.
There's the big keys, and now Hunter Seeker's in the lead instead.
Just by a hair. Oh man.
Yeah, if you wanted to see a close and exciting race.
Well, good morning and welcome.
Yeah, for sure. It had the divergence and decision making early on, and it's going to end on execution.
Yep, precisely on execution. It couldn't get any closer. The two runners do have a little bit of disparity in the resources available to them, but not enough that you would expect runners of this skill level for it to make a big difference. Okay, looks like Hunter Seeker is not set up the spooky action glitch with the fire rod. And Kohrek making the mistake of forgetting that he'd never changed the polarity of the peg crystal. So
yeah, it's such an easy one to do because most of the times you have to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it does give Hunter Seeker a little bit more time to get ahead here.
Yes, it does, and looks like he's going to use cape strats. May do a cape dash. That's pretty simple and fast. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it.
He's just a little low. He needs to be slightly higher. So he's going to leave 4 of the eyes behind once he kills the majority of them and just slash them. Running low on cape power, but he'll get it finished off before Vitreous comes out, and he's just going to slash him at the top, which is a bit slower, but it's also a bit safer. Kohrek going for the spins, which you certainly understand. He's not even using his cape yet. Okay, now he might turn it on. No, he's just going to use arrows. Hunter Seeker finishes the fight as Kohrek does too.
And that means that both our runners have 7 crystals, and I do believe we play some kind of a game when that happens.
We do play a game when that happens. Walter, why don't you tell us?
Well, there's 22 locations in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be, and we want to see if you can guess the right number where the big key is going to be. So that's a number between 1 and 22. Where is the big key? If you're a subscriber to any of the speed gaming channels or have donated 250 bits, you will also be eligible to be on the leaderboard. So where do you think the big key is going to be?
Well, you know, this has been a pretty jetty seed, so I think we're going to see it in location number 3. How about you, Walter?
That's an interesting one. I'm going to say number 3 as well, but I'm going to say number 3 as Dark Magician strat, so that would be in the Stalfos room.
Okay. So the second chest in Stalfos room. Both players opting just avoid doing Turtle Rock, which makes a lot of sense because they've never opened the portal.
Yeah, that makes it... I think it's still maybe a little bit faster, but I think the marginal is not too big when you haven't activated it before, and this minimizes the chances of dead rocks getting in your way as well.
Right. Hunter-Seeker losing back some time as he both failed to get through those blocks the quick way with the hook shot and had a couple of chests to check for the silver arrows, no doubt. So it is Kohrek who will be entering Ganon's tower.
Yeah, that means that Kohrek is the numbers we're going to go on for.
That's right.
The big key game.
So even if these runners' path diverges, it doesn't matter. It'll be Kohrek whose count matters for the purposes of our game. And he goes right side first, so here we go. Arrow upgrade and a piece of heart. Hunter-Seeker follows, so Kohrek maintains his lead.
Yeah, no big keys means that both of them are going left side.
Yep. Chest number 3. The torch is a small key. So 3 was not our correct answer.
Yeah, feels bad, man.
It does. Oh well. Now into the Skull Kids room. It is not that one either. But it is number 7.
Number 7. Yeah, I don't think that chest would ever be number 2 in Stalfos room.
Unlikely. That would be a pretty odd path to take through there. Hunter-Seeker picks his up, and he's on his way up too. Right behind Kohrek. This is as close as you like.
Yeah, this is going to be all up to execution, and Kohrek having a little bit of a lead at the moment, but it can change at any moment because the gauntlet and the climb overall is more or less pure execution.
Congrats to Zelda Disson, who was the first of everyone to guess number 7. HS having a little bit of trouble with these mimics.
Yeah, also
slowing him down.
Being a little bit low might actually decide to do the safety room. I do believe they have some potions as well, though, so it might scare.
Yeah, I have a couple, if I'm not mistaken, just from finding them out there. Hits a spike on the way down as Kohrek tears through the Skull Kids room.
Yeah, using the fire rod against the Stalfos is a strategy that I really like.
Nice use of the dash through the conveyor room with the horse heads as well. And makes quick work of the 2 red ones. So he is looking at a great gauntlet so far. Gets unlucky with that fire rod not striking the Skull Kid, but he gets him on the second try. And he is
very nice save there.
To Moldworm. Not Moldworm. To Lanmolas, too.
Man, can you imagine if there was 3 Moldworms?
Not really. I don't even want to think about that. Nicely done. Getting the fire rod shots in off his spin. Our restreamer Tear here on Speed Gaming, bailing us out, saving us, and giving us the leaderboard. I see Zelda is at 6 wins, so near the top. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. I've never got it right, so...
Now, Hunter Seeker opting not to use his fire rod at all has resulted in a multiple cycle Planmola's fight that really wasn't necessary. And that has cost him some significant time.
Yeah, Kohrek is definitely pulling ahead here.
He's going to go ahead and powder those anti-fairies. And also check the chest, even though he did not check the 2 in the previous room. So just gets the map for his trouble. But he's on to Moldorm 2. Nice dash a couple times to bring him down. Just a big 20 in the last chest.
That means that Kohrek will do his silverless fight.
Yes, he will. Let's see if Hunter Seeker gets really lucky and just happens to find the silvers in the 2 chests that Kohrek did not check.
But since both of them are above Master Sword, the silverless fight is not going to be too trivial, at least.
No. Won't be nearly as bad as it could be. But no luck for Hunter Seeker. Nice double there by Kohrek, meanwhile. Ooh, and finishes it with a beautiful triple.
Yeah, that was a very good one. So no matter what happens here, both our runners is gonna have some excellent times finishing the seed.
Absolutely. We should be looking at 2 sub-130s for this 4-2 winner-takes-all matchup.
And with Buttersword getting 1 cycles on Ganon, not too trivial at all.
You mean it is trivial? Piece of cake. And he gets both his cycles over with as fast as you can, and the first hit is in the 3rd phase of the Ganon fight for Kohrek as Hunter Seeker heads to Aghanim 2. We have a dancing Ganon all of a sudden.
Yeah, you can teleport as much as you like, Ganon, but you can't avoid your fate. Wow,
my goodness,
a lot of teleports. So Hunter Seeker will get the same number of teleports.
Yes, that will be evened out by the
Kohrek
randomizer.
Setting up the torch glitch here, which is very nice to have in this silverless fight.
What this means, though, is that as Kohrek finishes Phase 4, Hunter Seeker's entering the Ganon fight. 1 fall could change everything.
Yeah, definitely. The last part here on the silverless fight is a mixture of having execution, but also patience.
Yes. You don't want to get yourself into a sticky situation with the angles, and just keep it simple. Tried to get a third hit there, did Kohrek, but he didn't quite get the timing right. That was a tough one. Ooh, and he got real close to that fight. Though he was facing the ledge, so it would have knocked him backward. He's just about done. There it is!
Yeah, Ganon goes down as Hunter Seeker is in phase 3, so it ended being very close, but Kohrek has got this one.
Fantastic race between these two runners, as Kohrek finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's an amazing time. So spam your GGs in chat for Kohrek. Let's see if they want to come in for a little bit of chat here.
And now Hunter Seeker finishing up. Doing a nice job as well.
Yeah, it doesn't have too much magic, so it uses the lamp here instead. And it does make it a lot harder to get those triples, but I do believe they have some potions as well if it comes to that.
Yeah, should be all right. And we will have Kohrek with us here in just a little bit. In fact, yeah, I think we have him now. GG, Kohrek.
Oh, thank you.
Great race, and really excellent routing too. We knew fairly early on, because we did a fake flipper where that Kena Samaria was, and you know, you made some pretty sensible checks, but then by the time you got to it, you had routed so efficiently that you kind of gained the advantage back that he had from that knowledge.
Yeah, I felt pretty good. I mean, I didn't end up doing too much that wasn't required. Obviously, Dark Death Mountain was the only exception there, but I got a butter sword out of it, so I mean, it wasn't awful.
No, and I mean, we can't overstate how close you are. I mean, I'm sure you can guess on the Ganon now, but you two entered Go mode, you with the Kena Samaria, he with the Titan's Mitts and Swamp, within about 10 seconds of each other.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it really was. And all right, chat, get your GGs out as well for Hunter Seeker 42. He's finished with an official time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, 51 seconds. So it's 2 sub-90s for these runners. Very well done. So yeah, you were saying, Kohrek, you felt like you didn't do too much unnecessary, and you made what felt like a really sensible call early, going over to the Palace of Darkness, and it turned up absolutely nothing, didn't it?
I got Bombos there, but that wasn't needed for another hour or so. So yeah, it really wasn't an early dip required there.
Right. And of course, you had the mushroom and the cape in there as well, and neither turned important. Obviously, the Bombos medallion eventually being something you needed, but boy, when you're looking for that early game progression and you go in there and that's what you come up with, how are you feeling?
Well, at that point, I'm like, okay, I've done some, I got 2 crystals. I didn't get any progression. I mean, it's very, very unlikely that my opponent will go mode these dungeons. So, it's unfortunate, but it probably didn't put me back that much. And, it's just, you always got to keep in mind, what is your opponent likely to do? And there was a, very low chance that he wouldn't end up doing the same thing at some point. So,
exactly. And you're exactly right. He did not do it at the same time you did go ahead and do it at some point. So, yep, you nailed that one. Looking like we may not be joined by Hunter Seeker 42. That's all right, though. We're happy to speak with Kohrek. Walter, what are you thinking about this race?
Yeah, there was a lot of things to take out from this race. Just starting from the beginning, like getting mirror boots and flute early. That's always nice to see. And of course, having the Titansmates for Go mode, or for Kohrek, you had the cane instead, so it's a little bit scary sometimes when you get Titansmates and you have so many options available.
Yeah, this was a very interesting seed in that there were only 3 spheres of progression items. I don't know if I've seen one that's that shallow before, but it was pretty shallow.
It really was, and in the case of Hunter Seeker, you could even argue there were only like 2, because his Go mode item was the Titan's Mitts, so he didn't even need to open up an additional sphere. You did, just because of the ordering. But man, it really was. And I mean, obviously that will have led, in combination with your guys' execution, to such quick times. So how does it feel? You're 5-2, you've made it through to the brackets.
You know, I'm really happy to have qualified. You know, I feel sorry for my opponent because he came a really long way in this tournament. But you know, I've had a little bit of a gauntlet, in my personal opinion, the last couple of weeks. So
you have had a tough go, haven't you?
I feel good to get this 5th win, and you know, I'm looking forward to the brackets.
It's going to be an awfully hyped time for the next several weeks, and we're glad to have you along with us, Kohrek, so congratulations to you.
Thank you, and you know, congratulations to you as well. I know you have made the brackets, Justin Z, so maybe we'll end up matched up, who knows? But
yeah, who knows indeed. Thank you for that.
And I just want to say thank you to you guys for giving the commentary, and obviously the trackers and the crew. Appreciate it's not the easiest hour for a lot of people. I know you're usually up and you know, running races with me at this time, yep. But I know for a lot of people this is an off time, so I really appreciate it. And you know, thanks again.
Well, we appreciate that, Kohrek. Walter, you want to give us our shout outs to everybody that brought this to us today?
Yeah, like Kohrek hit it pretty head on there, but also big thanks you to both our runners today. They did an amazing job, and thank you to Shad as well, hanging out here, always having a good time.
Absolutely. Our thanks to Ter for the technical work behind the scenes restreaming, and to Yoinker's wife for taking care of the tracking for us, and of course to Feasel and Speed Gaming for the arena where these 2 runners duked it out. Any final thoughts for us, Kohrek?
No, I'll leave that to you guys. Have a good one.
You do the same, and to chat as well, thank you very much for joining us for this 4-2 advancement race, where Kohrek managed to pull it out with a time of 1:25.16. This has been Justin Z.
And Walter the 4th.
Thanks so much for joining us. So long, everybody.